Welcome to Pod Me If You Can. I'm David Farrell. Today on the show, it's RPM, starring David Arquette and Famke Janssen.
Pod Me If You Can. Movie reviews.
Luke, David Arquette, is a professional car thief who works alongside his canine companion Max. He attempts the heist of a lifetime when he tries to steal the prototype, RPM, for a gas-free car. Claudia, Famke Janssen, plays a rival car thief that is after that same car. The two collide in a series of high-stakes car thefts across France. RPM is a pretty bad film overall. Roger Avary came up with the original idea. He's famous for writing the pocket watch speech in Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, as well as directing Rules of Attraction and Killing Zoe. Roger Avary was attached to this, but when he dropped off, they rewrote his script so much that it was unrecognizable and he removed his name from it. Because this was filmed in France, I just imagine it's a free trip to France for all the actors, and that's what prompted them to say yes to this. So David Arquette cannot pull off this role. This film comes on the heels of Scream 2, and look, his character here is so smart, like ridiculously so. He can identify what fuse is burnt out without looking. He can fix a car's engine using parts from a pocket watch like MacGyver. He also gets in heaps of fights and thinks of himself as some kind of car rogue. But every scene he approaches people, he's squinting and smoking, and it doesn't quite work with this character. If Luke can steal this revolutionary RPM, he'll be paid $1 billion. Which sounds like an offer that Dr. Evil is making him. I'll give you $1 billion, just throwing out a crazy big number. Stealing these cars is like a duty for him. He feels like the owners of the cars don't appreciate their vintage models, and so he liberates them and steals them as a form of kind of heroic social justice. However, most of them leave their keys in the car. This happens 2 or 3 times in the film. People just leaving their keys in the car is so lazy. You like action? Check out this amazing action sequence.
I haven't done this in a long time. So, what are you doing for dinner?
What?
I guess some people just don't appreciate you giving them a good turn.
Luke's not a good guy. The first time we meet him, he's using a remote-controlled car and driving it around and taking upskirt photos of women. The voice dubbing is noticeably bad with foreign actors, and the voiceover from David Arquette is frustratingly throughout the entire film, saying things like, "But things were about to get a lot worse." Now Luke acts like a homosexual in order to get through customs, which he claims is a common thing that he does. He's hiding technology on his dog, and therefore it beeps when it goes through, and he sort of, flamboyantly waves his arms around, and then they don't frisk him, which is crazy, but anyway, and he says it's a common thing that he does, which feels very offensive. A French Interpol character played by Jean-Luc and a US agent played by Deborah Weston, and the two are working together on this car case. He non-stop flirts with her, and of course they get together, but at the cost of the case. They do not pursue any leads or anything anymore because they're too busy hooking up. Famke Janssen changes outfits a lot, and she's in this one sex scene that I can't not talk about. She pours motor oil all over this guy as like a seductive way of getting with him. And then she kisses his motor oil covered face. They get partially nude and sleep together. This looked gross to me, and it would take some real rev heads to be into this, I think. The fight scenes are poor, clomping 2 heads together and knocking people out with a single hit. There are so many inept, frustrating guards. At one point, Luke is trying to get into this Fort Knox-like facility, and so his solution is to have a light aircraft carry him over as he waves to the guards, and then in his jumpsuit be dropped from a low altitude on rollerblades and into the facility. His love interest is Michelle, played by Emmanuelle Seigner, who was happy to be partially naked in this film and obviously already available and in France. This is not a comedy as described on IMDb, and it's definitely not worth your time. The finale, he steals the RPM by remote. so he's controlling it via a remote control, like at the beginning when he was upskirting with women, which is wholly unsatisfying. Not having to break in and steal it and have some kind of chase sequence where they're behind the wheel, it really takes away from this ending. Jerry Hall has a small cameo as a bored girlfriend. And Max the dog has very little value in this film except as a hostage, and he seems to be there just so David Arquette's character isn't talking to himself. This is not so bad it's laughable, it's not a bad film you can enjoy, it's just bad. And if you watch this, like me, I think you'll have regrets.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Check out our podcast at www.podmeyifyoucan.com.